thank you all for tuning in. Today I'm going to be showing y'all how I did the application for this extra long set. So the first thing I'm doing is cutting my client's natural nails. This isn't a necessary step, only if my client prefers them to be cut down, I cut them. Now I'm taking my fine grit sanding band and I'm using a Melody Susie electric file, and I am removing any natural oils and shine from my client's natural nail bed. So here I'm taking a cuticle bit and I'm going around my client's cuticle to remove any living skin from her nail. Now I am applying a false nail tip onto my client's natural nail bed. Always size the nail tip to your client's natural nail. Make sure the nail tip fits your client's side walls. With the nail tips, I like to cut off some of the well with my straight edge nail clipper just to cut down filing time and to prevent any nail tip getting onto the client's skin. And also, if you have a nail tip that's either too small or too big for your client's nail, you should always go bigger, and then you can cut or file any excess nail tip on the sides to perfectly fit your client's nail bed. Here I'm taking my scissors and I'm cutting the nail tip to my client's desired length. To get the accurate length on each nail, I line them up cuticle to cuticle, side by side, to make sure that they're all the same lengths. with the second hand, to make sure I get the same length as the first one, I always cut each nail on the second hand a tad bit longer just to make sure that I don't go too short, and then I line them up with the last hand cuticle to cuticle. Here I'm taking my 80/80 grit hand file that I got from my local nail supply store, and with hand files you always want to season them just to prevent any cutting into your client's skin when you're filing. And yeah, if you're new to nails and you don't know what seasoning your files are, you could look it up, or you could take my nail class. I don't know, I can't explain everything in this video, but I'll try my best. So seasoning your hand files, you take one hand file and you file it against the edge of another hand file just to make the edges less coarse so you won't cut into your client's skin. Also, while filing, I'm holding my client's skin on her side walls with my fingers. I'm holding them down so I'm not filing into her skin, and I'm also securing her fingers so it's not moving around and causing pressure on her nail. Here I flip my client's hand around just to make sure that the shape is good in all angles. I'm also lining her fingers up cuticle to cuticle to make sure that all her nails are the same length. Here I'm blending a false nail tip onto my client's natural nail bed. Here I'm using a lint-free wipe, and I submerged it in Young Nails Swipe, which is used as a dehydrator. This is also used to remove any lint or dust from the natural nail. Here I'm using Young Nails Protein Bond, and I use 2 coats on each hand. Starting the acrylic process, I like to get my first bead to cover majority of the false nail tip. As you can see, I'm constantly patting my acrylic very gently to get it to spread where I need it to, and I'm constantly checking my side walls and wiping them just to keep that perfect shape. So here's my next bead. This is going to be my apex bead. This is going to give the nail some structure and some support. So my last bead on this nail, this is my cuticle bead. I place it right under the cuticle, and then I use the tip of my nail brush to spread it towards the cuticle. You never want to place it right directly on the cuticle because the acrylic will flood and get onto the client's skin. So this nail did take me 4 beads to complete simply because I am using a size 10 nail brush. So after this nail, I did switch to a bigger brush. And anyone can use any size nail brush they prefer, honestly, what is comfortable for them. I just don't like using too many beads because then I feel like if I use too many beads on one nail, my client's nail bed starts to overheat, and I just try to avoid that at any cost. And when my client has a burning feeling on their nail bed, I use some isopropyl alcohol. This is alcohol you can literally get from the dollar store or your local market. So I switched from a size 10 nail brush to a size 12. And if anyone's wondering or new to nails, the bigger the number, the bigger the brush. focus was out when I was applying my first bead on the thumb, but here is my apex bead. And remember, with the apex, you want to keep that bulk acrylic there, not too bulky, but remember the apex is the support of the nail. I just went back in to add some acrylic and some thickness to the pinky nail. Now I'm using my Kiara Sky 5-in-1 medium grit carbide bit. And I use this to seal my client's cuticles, and I also use this to file down some of the thickness from the nail. And when sealing my client's cuticles, I like to use my electric file on a very low speed. With the same carbide bit, I turn my electric file up just a little bit, and I start to remove any extra bulk or any extra acrylic from the client's nail. And when filing, you never want to stay in one spot on the client's nail, simply because this will cause their nail bed to overheat. As you can see, I'm using my fingers on my other hand to hold under my client's nail and to secure it, just so that my client doesn't feel too much vibration on her nail. like to use my pinky on the same hand that the electric file is in, and I lean it against my client's finger just to give me a better control over the electric file. So now with my sanding band, I'm using it to clean under my client's nails. I'm removing any excess nail tip or any excess acrylic that may have been hidden under the nail. I also like to use the sanding band to go on top of the acrylic just to remove any lumps or dents in the nail. I'm creating that perfect C curve under the nail, and I'm also making sure that part is not too thick. Here I'm taking my 80/80 grit hand file and I'm cleaning up the sides of the client's nail, and I'm making sure everything is smooth and even. So I'm going under the nail once again to create that C curve. They were a little thicker once I filed them down. Now I'm taking a buffer and I'm buffing my client's nail, removing any scratches on the surface of the nail. Lastly, right before my client washes their hands, I like to place some cuticle oil just around their cuticles to remove that dust, because once they wash their hands and come back to me to get their top coat, there still will be major dust in the creases. So the cuticle oil just helps remove the dust more efficiently. So here is my designing process. I did speed the video up just so that the video wouldn't be as long, but this is how I created this beautiful set, and there is a picture at the very end. So tell me what y'all think, and thank you for tuning in.
And y'all don't pay attention to my gel tattoos. It's like, nah, I ain't get them in gel or nothing, but they do look like gel tattoos. Like, those are the vibes they give me. And the man wouldn't even give me a refund or like fix them, but it's cool, you know, I'm gonna make it work.